Hey, what is up? I am Pixel and today we are going to cover everything you need to know about the new updates to Pixelmon in version 9.11 and 9.12. Why are there two updates to go over? Will we get better flying? Will Pokeballs ever be fixed? Well, for the first question, it looks like there were issues with 9.11, and so 9.12 was released only a day later. For the other questions, keep watching to find out. For starters, the evolutions of Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxly have all been added to the game. Again, none of the starter Pokemon or their evolutions can currently spawn in the wild, but remember that you can change that with data packs. 9.12 also added Paldean Wooper and its evolution Clodsire, which will spawn in swamps at night and at dawn. When defeated, Paldean Wooper will drop a Slime Ball and has a chance to drop Coarse Dirt, Clay, and Sand. Clodsire will drop 1 to 3 Slime Balls and has a chance to drop Coarse Dirt and a tiny chance to drop Soft Sand. The next big thing as part of the updates is flying. 9.12 introduces much more user-friendly flying that is a bit different depending on each Pokemon's flying style. You can now descend while flying using the C key by default, which you can change in the controls menu, and Pokemon have a certain number of charges they have before they need to land again, with most legendary Pokemon having more charges than normal Pokemon. The stats for these mounted flying parameters can be found in the species file for each Pokemon, so you can even edit how each Pokemon flies with data packs. Up next, if you were in the Pixelmon Discord during the month of December, you should have received the 2022 Winter Solstice Roll. If you have your Minecraft account linked on the Pixelmon forums, you can now use the 2022 Winter Cosmetic, which is this amazing looking Articuno wings. To put these on, just go into the pause menu, select Pixelmon, and choose Christmas Articuno from the wings drop down box. I think one of my favorite smaller new features is that Suicune can now walk on water, similar to how it has in the TV show. Suicune will appear to be a bit in the water, but can still walk and run around as if the water were land. This works also while riding Suicune, and I think is actually my preferred method for getting over oceans now. Cosmetics have been added to the TCG Trader, and there have been slight updates to the TCG shop structures. In other structure news, pirate boats and hauler boats were also both updated so that they don't destroy as much terrain when they spawn. This next thing is just a cool and weird thing you should see. There's a setting called Wireframe Debug Mode the devs added that you can see by pressing F3 and W. It renders Pokemon as a connection of all the vertices on their model, so you can see them and also see through them. It's just really unique. There is also F3 and O now to turn off the animations for Pokemon, which just looks really weird, but might help you maybe if your computer has trouble running Pixelmon. There is also an option now in the graphics.yml config file that will allow you to turn on 3D Pokeball in-hand rendering. For map makers, the Pixelmon spawner has had new settings added to it. If you click the arrow buttons to get to the next page, you can see we now have a spawn location setting and an aggression setting. I think everyone should also know what updated with Pokemon attacks. The new Gen 9 attacks Aqua Cutter, Aqua Step, Flower Trick, and Torch Song have all been added and can now be learned by the Gen 9 starter Pokemon. The attacks Psyshield Bash, Triple Arrows, and Victory Dance from Legends Arceus were in Pixelmon but unused, so they have had the Gen 9 version of them added to the game. Hisuian Decidueye will learn Triple Arrows after evolving from Dartrix. Hisuian Lilligant will learn Victory Dance after evolving from Petilil. Weirder will learn Psyshield Bash after evolving from Stantler, and Hisuian Sliggoo will learn Shelter after evolving from Goomy. Lunar Blessing, Raging Fury, and Shelter will now use their Gen 9 versions too. Continuing on, some smaller changes are: you can zoom in and out on Pokemon in the Pokédex and Fishing Log. Pokemon paintings were made smaller and are now only 2 blocks wide and 2 blocks tall. The Pixelmon workplace decoration has a new look, and you can craft any color of cash register now. Previously, you could only craft the black color. And last but not least, for developers and data pack creators, ribbons are now data packable, so you can now create your own ribbons. And alright, that is everything new. From here, we're going to quickly go through important bugs, Pokeballs, that have been fixed that you should know about. So yeah, like I just mentioned, the issue where you couldn't craft normal Pokeballs has been fixed. You'll also be able to search for them in the creative inventory again. External moves such as Forage and Rock Smash have been fixed. There was a weird issue that a few people had where outside of battle, Pokeballs would break while in the middle of capturing a Pokemon. That has been fixed. Pokemon will no longer forget moves upon switching forms or evolving. All the Ultra Tree wood blocks that were added in 9.10 now have crafting recipes, and fishing rods have had their recipes fixed. The issue with being unable to fish out items in water and lava where no Pokemon can be fished has also been fixed. For when you're trying to catch Lugia or Ho-Oh, the clear and tidal bells now have their shining particles back. Ovens will now drop themselves when they're broken. The Garcidia flower spawning has been fixed and will now naturally spawn in flower forests. Essence jars will no longer stack, so I'm sorry, but you can no longer fill up 64 essence jars at the same time. Another thing, the fly and teleport external moves will no longer send you to the void if you haven't used a Pokemon Center, because those moves do nothing if you haven't been to a Pokemon Center yet. Shedinja can be attained upon evolving Nincada once again. Raids were fixed and will now go to turn 10. And finally, last bug we're covering, Zorua and Zoroark won't use the wrong sprite when disguised as a non-default palette. And that concludes this episode of Pixelmon Updates. There are of course more fixes, so if you're looking for something, be sure to check out Pixelmon's site at reforged.gg. Otherwise, check out my other videos on Pixelmon tutorials or Pixelmon version updates. Thanks for watching, and do enjoy your time with these new updates. See ya.